Hey, welcome back to the garage, everyone. Today, we're going to figure out what's wrong with our electric antenna. Stay tuned. All right, never mind the clutter and the trash and the chunk. We've got to figure out how to get this thing out of here. So, looks like we've got to take this plastic cover here off of the back lights, and then we'll be able to pull this cover back a little more. Here is the pesky critter. It's got some orange writing on it. I'm not sure if that's factory or maybe someone got this antenna out of a junkyard at some point in its life. We're going to find out, though. All right, stand by. Let me get some of this stuff loose and see if we can get this thing out of here. All right, getting that cover out was really simple. Just a couple of twists of the locks on the taillight cover, and that slips out. And the side piece, it just slips out really easy. So no big deal there. All right, so I loosened this guy up here, and I just wanted to see what we were dealing with. Also started messing around with the rubber here. It's kind of broken, and it's, it comes apart in your hand. This rubber is done. I've actually got a new rubber grommet for the antenna on its way from SCP Euro, so hopefully that'll get here in just a few days. But this whole thing just slides downward through the car. And up next, I'm going to get after, let's see, I think this screw right here and this ground strap right here. Let's get this thing out of the car. All right, well, forget what I said about that nut on the bottom. That has nothing to do with holding the antenna in place. It's just this screw right here. That is the only thing. And, of course, the antenna wire itself. And you have this little ferrule that we have to loosen. So we'll get that off of there. Boom, we're done. Okay. Now we should be able to slip this guy right out of here. Let's see. There we go. All right, a little more up close and personal shot here. Something got splattered on this thing in the past. I'm not sure what that was, but something got splattered on there. So, automatic antenna number 126-820-037580. Why they need a part number that long, I have no idea. Anyway, manufactured for Mercedes-Benz by Richard Hirschman. And let's see, there's our electrical connector at the top. And I'm still befuddled by this writing here. Usually yellow writing means I got a part out of a junkyard and put it in the car. So the original one may have broken, and I suspect that this one was removed from a junk car at some point and put in this car. So this is probably not original to this vehicle. So it looks like we got some plastic clips here. And let's pop those out and get this cover off. Now, if you recall seeing my previous video, you'll note that this antenna actually works just fine. The only problem with it is that it has a parasitic draw. When the car is off, it continually draws a very low level current and will eventually drain the battery dead. So we've got to figure out what's going on. All right, so I slipped the circuit board out, and you'll see a fair amount of protectant on the board here to prevent corrosion. Some spots are a little darker than others. Here is a little darker, and over here is a little darker. So I'm not sure if that's due to heat or if the I don't recall what the material is, or I don't recall what the substance is they use for coating this, but it's either thicker in areas and lighter in areas, or it's gotten hot. So I'm not sure, but we're going to find out. And here's the business end. Why we need circuit chips in an electric antenna, I really don't know. Probably just a timer. I'm making guesses. I really have no idea. Let's see. What are the numbers on those chips? Probably just little amplifiers. So I'll make a record of that, and we'll look that up later and see what that chip is. Probably switches or amplifiers or something. I'm not sure. I'm not going to guess. Some power transistors in there, I guess. And these big copper heat sinks keep them nice and cool. Two here and two here. I really have no idea what this internal circuitry does, or I don't have a schematic for it, but I'm going to find out. I am going to have to find a schematic for this and see if we can't make some sense out of it. All right, and the antenna is just, hell, it's just sitting in there kind of like that, right? So no big deal. Hey, look what we got in the mail. Genuine Mercedes antenna grommet for our rear quarter panel. Let's see. How does this work? Like that? Nope, like that. Yeah, okay. Boom. Done. Yay me. Let's move on to the next thing. No, it wasn't that easy. You have to, it's got a little groove in it right here, right? So I'm just going to work. I have to use two hands. I'll work that down in there and get that in there. So when our new antenna comes in the mail, we'll slip it right up through there and we'll be good to go. So here's a little sidebar. While we're in here waiting on our antenna to arrive, I thought I would clean the carpet in this thing. So I don't know about you, but that looks new to me. So, and that's because I just got through shampooing it with some car wash stuff and some soap and water and some elbow grease. And I'm just sitting here letting it dry. And we're going to let the sun take care of the rest of that. Now, it did look like this, okay? So, now this stuff is not cardboard. It's some kind of heavy gauge plastic, I think. So I'm going to pull this one out of here next and wash it up too. I'm going to try to get this whole trunk looking really nice for our new refurbished antenna. All right, we've got one big empty trunk here, and we're about to put the newly freshened up, cleaned, and shampooed carpet back in place. So stand by for that. All right, I'm liking it already. These panels just fit in real nice. So up next, let's see. I'm going to save this one until I install the antenna. So I'm going to get this piece right here and this piece, and then we'll call it quits for now until the antenna gets here. All right, that's looking pretty good so far. Just one more piece to go over here, and we'll finish that up when we get the antenna in. Little corners on the edge of the carpet a little bit upturned, but I guess that's just because of age and maybe a shrinkage. Oh well, put it out of your mind. Well, all right, folks. Bonus round. I bet you didn't think you were going to have a unboxing in this video, did you? So we've got to transfer a couple of pieces of hardware, the bracketry on the bottom, and so let's get busy doing that, okay? I think that's about it. Got the bracket and the ground wire, and get it in my my grommet here, just to make our lives a little easier. You should store your screwdrivers in the presence of a magnet. I highly recommend it. All right, let's reconnect the ground for the antenna shaft. Alright, so I just loosened that screw right there and turned the antenna shaft around a little bit. And now we should be able to tighten our ground. Oh, and by the way, I put some Noox on these ground connections. It's a paste to prevent oxidation. I'm not sure what the deal is with the electrical system in this car, but every piece of aluminum in this car has got white oxidation on it if it's got some electricity running through it. Okay, where is my antenna wire? There it is. So there's the antenna wire with a little ferrule. You've got to screw that in. It's on the back side here. You can't see it. Bet you $100 it don't work. All right, well, let's see. Can you guys see? All right, I'm going to hop in the car and fire everything up, turn on the radio, and see what we have. Radio on.
Always be there for us. That's SaveBirminghamBusiness.com.
All right, that's the middle position. That's maximum. All right, that's off. All right, that's the radio off. Now we're going to turn the radio back on. I'm liking that. Woo! All right, well, there you have it, folks. One refurbished electric antenna installed in a W126. Haphazardly, no doubt, but in fact it does work. All right, we're back at it. It's the next day, and while the new electric antenna works just fine, our parasitic power draw did not change. I have done a lot of troubleshooting, and I'm about to do some more. Whenever I plug in that harness to that antenna, I get a parasitic power draw, and I'm using a trouble light connected to the battery to determine that. I've taken the cover off of this wiring connector, and I'm going to take each one of these out. Now that one right there on the corner, that's hot all the time. That's 12 volts. I'm going to pull these out, and I'm going to connect them one by one up to this guy and find out which wire is causing my draw. All right, so we've made a little progress here. We got this cap off of this wiring connector. I know which wires do what. I've already looked at my schematic. The brown wire is the ground. So we're going to connect the ground up to the ground pin, and I'll put the diagram either in the video or maybe a link to it in the description below. The power actually has two wires soldered into it. One is a red with a yellow stripe, and the other one is just a red wire. I think it might have a white stripe. This is a red wire with a yellow and a white stripe, and it's hard to tell, but I think the other one has a white stripe on it as well, but there's no yellow. But when you connect it up, this guy right here, you can see right up there our little trouble light. So I'm going to disconnect it. There we go. Reconnect it. There's our draw right up there. Well, all right, everyone. We're going to finish this video up and give you a short summary of the antenna fiasco. So just a moment ago, you saw where we were disappointed about the replacement antenna. I mean, we had our trouble light up here, and it was showing us a draw just like the other one did. And matter of fact, it appeared to be an even larger current draw. So what I did was I contacted the guy that refurbishes the antennas, and I told him my predicament, and he was nice enough to send me yet another refurbished antenna. I installed it. I connected my trouble light to the battery, and again, I had a parasitic draw on the trouble light. Dumbfounded. Absolutely dumbfounded. So what did I do? I said, well, it's clearly the problem has to be in my car. So I spent the next week or two running through the electrical system on this car. So I'll give you a rundown on what I found. I determined that I had two door switches which were failed. The rear door switches here, they were basically just shot. So I took those two apart, cleaned them up, and got them working right again. They work great now. Actually, that was an exercise that was that needed doing. So basically, the diagram you saw in the video a few moments ago, I went through that entire schematic. The anti-theft system, the module for it, is under the carpet on the passenger side. All right, and I'll show you what that looks like. You guys have probably seen it before anyway, but we're going to just review it. I've got it over here. I haven't reinstalled it, and there's a reason for that. There it is right there. That pesky little critter. This thing basically sits, you know, on the floorboard under the carpet. That's where the, you know, that's where the passenger's feet will go. So that thing blows fuses. All right. So every time you try to hook it back up, I actually found that it was disconnected. So someone has done some troubleshooting in the past and determined that it was bad, so it was disconnected. So I reconnected it just to see what would happen. Every time you open the door, the anti-theft module would blow that pesky fuse, which is number 15, as I recall. You can take a look at another video and verify. It's either 13 or 15. I can't recall which one right now. So all this antenna stuff was done several weeks ago, and I'm just now getting back around to it because it was such a pain to get this thing sorted out. So bottom line is I went through a couple of different refurbished antennas. I went through pretty much the entire car electrical system, found a few issues. I still have to find a new anti-theft system module that doesn't blow fuses, so once I get that, I'll reinstall it. The antenna works perfectly. No issues whatsoever. Do I still see a draw when I hook up a trouble light to the battery? Yes, I do. Has it mattered? No, it has not. If you go over there and put a clamp meter on that battery, you will see a tiny, teeny little draw on the battery. So I'm going to rely on you guys to help me out here. Is there still something in my car that I haven't found that's a problem? So if you guys have some input, some guidance, I am all ears. So put your comments down below and I'll read them and we'll take action where necessary. I hooked a clamp meter, a DC clamp meter to it, and there is a very small draw. So it hasn't seemed to have affected the car at all. It continues to crank every day. I even let it go for several days and without cranking it, and the battery is strong and it, you know, has good voltage, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just not going to worry about it. I beat my head up against the wall too long for that one, so it's time to let it go and move on to other things. So, hey, listen, I appreciate you guys stopping by my channel. Sorry for the long-winded explanation right here at the end, but it was really frustrating. So hopefully future projects won't be as confusing. Yeah, right. All right, I appreciate you guys stopping by my channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to be notified whenever I release a new video, go ahead and click that little bell down below. We'll talk to you guys later. Take it easy.